Also, I'll cut my deck half in the middle just so we're all squared away. I did shuffle pretty good.
Cool, cool.
Awesome.
All
Yeah, this
right.
looks pretty damn good. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, same. I think it's gonna be awesome.
Would you want to call heads or I guess evens or odds?
I will do even.
You got it. You got it. It's a four.
Sweet. I will draw my first seven. And my starting character is Crab and Goyle.
Okay.
You may use an action and discard 2 cards from your hand to do 3 damage to your opponent. So this is kind of a
Is that a once per
um,
turn?
so it's an action actually, so you can use an action and discard.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really had Crab and Goyle as a starting character, and this is just sort of like a funky little deck that I made, and we'll see how it goes.
Heck yeah. And they're
Yeah.
Slytherin, right?
They are, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm playing as Hermione Granger. I gotta be honest, this might be the first time I'm ever playing as her, but her ability's too good to pass up. It says if you already have 2 or more lessons in play, then whenever you use an action to play a lesson card, you may play 2 lesson cards instead of one. So she's like a little ramp. I like that a lot. I'm surprised the revival didn't
100%,
ban
yeah.
her.
Yeah, and it's totally like with the character, right? Like she's so smart. It's like
Yes.
she's like she goes to double less, she goes like double lessons essentially, which
A
which
hundred,
makes sense.
yeah, her timekeeper, or yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I'll draw to start, and let's see. My first action, I'll play 1 lesson. My second action, I'll play another.
Okay, I will draw for turn. Hmm. Okay. I will use both my actions to play lessons, and I will pass my turn.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna draw to start. First action, I'll play a lesson. And just reading the card here,
Yep.
sorry.
No, no, you're good. I'm doing the same. It's been a minute since I played this deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I will play. Hmm. I'll play a Screech Owl.
Okay. Ooh, owl head to
So
head. This is gonna be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So when you play this card, you may put a lesson card from your discard pile into your hand. I don't have a discard pile right now, but it does 1 damage each turn. And over to you.
Okay. Draw for turn. Hmm. I'm going to use both actions to play an adventure. I'm going to play Unusual Pets. Play this card only if your opponent has any creatures in play. The effect: before each of your turns, your opponent takes 4 damage. To solve, your opponent chooses 2 of his or her creatures in play and discards them. And the opponent's reward is your opponent may draw a card. Over to you.
Okay. Draw to start.
And I take 1 from the owl.
Yeah.
Got it.
1. My first action, I will play a family ghoul. My
Ooh.
second action, I'll play a lesson, and then I'm going to solve your adventure. And is it discard 2?
It is, yes. Discard 2 of the creatures in play, and then you may draw a card if you like.
And I will.
Cool.
Over to you.
I'll draw a card. For my first action, I'll play a lesson, and since we have 2 out, I'll play 2 for my first action.
Nice.
And then my second action, I'm helping you out here a little bit, but I'm going to play Ilops Owl Emporium. But if I was going to say, you and I both know what this does, but anybody watching that might not. This is a location. When you play this card, discard any other location. Each owl has 1 more health. Whenever an owl does damage, it does 1 more damage. Over to you.
Nice. If it makes you feel any better, owls are only a couple of the creatures that I have, so it
Okay,
might help, it might not.
got it.
All right, so drew to start. Speaking of, I will play a Screech Owl.
Yep.
I don't have any lessons in my discard, or else I would use that Screech Owl's ability. And then my second action, I'm going to play Sandstone Gargoyle, which reads, whenever Sandstone Gargoyle does damage to your opponent, if he or she doesn't have any creatures in play, it does 2 more damage.
Got it.
Over to you.
All right. Draw. I'm in a little bit of a pickle here. I think I'm going to use my first action to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And my second action will be to play a Barn Owl. When you play this card, you may discard one of your lessons from play to put a creature from your discard pile into your hand. I'm going to not do that. So over to you, and I'd take 2 damage because of the Ilops.
Yep, I will draw to start.
Or actually, no. How much damage does the Gargoyle do, too?
It does 1, but you have a creature in play now, so
Okay, but I still
it's only
think
1.
it would be, I do a total of 3 then, so it was your Screech Owl does 2 because of this, and then the additional for the Gargoyle. So I think
Yeah, you're right. I was counting on the gargoyle ones and not the, yeah. So you're right. Thanks for that.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, I drew to start. Now what? My first action, I'm gonna play a black bat, which does 2 damage right away.
Yep.
My second action, I'm gonna play a lesson.
All right.
Over to you.
I'll draw and deal 2 damage.
Yep.
First action, I'll play a lesson and a second lesson with Hermione's ability. And second action, I will draw. Over to you.
All right, I'll draw. You take 2, 4, 5.
You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alrighty, let's see. First action, I'm going to play Prickly Porcupine. When you play this card, draw a card. So I'll do that. And second action, I'm going to play another Black Bat and do 2 damage.
You got it. 1, 2. Uh-oh.
Just want to make sure you...
fast.
This is just luck of the draw, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the game goes. This is so...
I will draw for turn.
I can see your hand just a little bit, Doug.
Oh, sorry.
Just
Thank
so
you. Thanks for the heads up.
Oh, good. Yeah.
First action, I will play a Barn Owl.
Nice.
And second action, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I'll play an Owl Post to draw 3. So, kind of killing myself a little bit here, but my hand is awful. Over to you.
All right,
And
I will draw to start.
6 or 7 at this point.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
9. Wow. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And did that owl do 2 damage because of the Ilops, or is it 10 actually?
Exactly, 2 because of the Ilops.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it just does more on its own. So I drew to start, and now I'm going to use my Crab and Goyle. So you may use an action and discard 2 cards from your hand to do 3 damage to your opponent. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to discard 2 and do 3 damage to you.
2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. You got it.
And then I'm going to play an Errol for my second action. Errol says, When you play this card, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a lesson, put it into play. If it isn't, then put it back. Let's see. It isn't, so I'll put it back.
Okay.
And over to you.
All right, I will draw 1 and deal 4 from my owls. I'm going to use both of my actions to play an adventure and play Riding the Centaur.
Nice.
The effect, prevent all damage done by your opponent's creatures. To solve, your opponent chooses 4 of his or her cards in play other than their starting character and returns them to his or her hand. And the reward is your opponent may draw a card. So,
okay.
Over to you.
All right, I will draw to start. 4 cards back to my hand.
Yes.
Let's see. I will take 1 Screech Owl. And I will take 3 lessons back to my hand.
Okay, you've solved that, and you may draw a card if you like.
Why not? All right. And then what I'll do is... Did you take the damage? Sorry, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention.
So this prevented it, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Thanks.
No problem.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is... I am going to use 1 action to discard 2 cards and do 3 damage to you.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. They're all my owls.
Yeah. Straight up. And then I am going to use the other action to do the same thing and do 3 damage to you.
1, 2, 3.
All right, over to you.
Okay. Draw for turn. I think I'm about to die when I pass. But let's just see if there's anything that can be done.
Oh, look at that Welsh green in there. Nice.
Oh, yeah. I think I wanted more of them in there, but the having to get rid of lessons to play it kind of feels bad. But when you play it, it does damage right away, I'm pretty sure. That's pretty nice.
It's with that 6. That's really good, yeah.
Yeah, I like that card a lot.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
I think my first action is to play a Tawny Owl. Oh, and I do 4 damage prior to that.
Yep, I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You may, when you play this card, you may put a non-healing item card from your discard into your hand. I don't think I have item cards. I might have to think about that next time. And then my second action, I will just play 1 lesson but 2 because of Hermione. And over to you. And I think, how much damage are we doing here?
All right, 1, that's 5, 7, 9.
9 exactly. GG.
Wow, nice.
That was
okay.
awesome.
Well, this deck worked out in my favor the way that it was supposed to, because it kind of does a combination. It's like I get the creatures out to begin with.
Yep.
And a lot of them are sort of like, they're not costly. And then everything else that I have in my hand is kind of Crab and Goyle's ability is then called upon, and I just keep doing damage. So
I really like that combo there. It's like, it's not only are your creatures doing damage, but your Crab and Goyle has that ability to do damage with their actions. That's pretty nice. And yeah, my hand, I had 3 into the Forbidden Forest, and I was thinking, oh man, it almost makes me want to swap out a few of these for that Riding the Centaur. But the problem with that is I only threw, I think, maybe 1 or 2 of those in there because I was thinking that only matters if I'm playing another creature deck. And I don't know, creature decks are pretty common in this game, so I feel like that would be a worthwhile adjustment. But what's it called? That Into the Forbidden Forest is cool because it's almost like another Ilops Al Emporium where whenever one of your creatures does damage to your opponent, it does 1 more. So this does 1 more, the Ilops Al Emporium does 1 more, and then that just stacks like crazy. but I didn't get
yeah. 100%. Yeah, and that's the thing about owl decks because it's the same with mine. I actually, funnily enough, have a Hermione owl deck too. I think it's like the best combo. But
Oh, hell yeah.
um, it's a lot of the owls. Their extra ability allows you to do things that you might not like that one, the tawny. I think
Yeah.
with the item. Like you might not have an item in there, but it just sticks with the theme also, and like for me, I don't think I have any items in my owl deck either, but it's just the ability to do an extra damage with the Ilops Owl Emporium. It ends up working out. So sometimes, it seems a little bit funky, but
Yeah, I really do like this archetype, so to speak. It's pretty neat.
yeah, definitely. That was a fun game.
That was
Short,
GG.
but yeah.
Would you want to do a best two of three, or would you want to try different decks, or do you want to take a little pause and we can talk about our ideas? What are you feeling up to?
Oh, I'm good with either. Definitely, best two or three is cool if we want to stick with the same decks.
Yeah, that works.
Um, yeah, that's cool. And then maybe after that we can chat about our about the podcast and keep it going.
Sounds good.
All right,
Do
sweet.
a
Let me.
pile shuffle quick.
And I think because I won that one, you go first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that's
So I guess that's
that's
one
the
question I
rule.
have for Classic. Like I said, even last time we were hanging out, I was like, "Is there a rule book?" Like, I just guess I've never really seen the rule book. But is is the Mulligan a revival only thing, or did they have such a thing in the original Classic game as well?
I have not seen anything about like within the literature, at least of like the Harry Potter trading card game. I've not seen anything in any of those printouts for the game about the Mulligan rule.
Okay.
I want to say the Mulligan rule is just like a trading card game wide rule. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
so I think it's sort of like if you adopt it in the game itself that you're playing, then it's cool. But I've not seen anything. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Maybe I didn't read it, but it doesn't sound like it's a Harry Potter TCG thing. So.
That's kind of what I thought too. So I've just been playing where I just kind of whatever seven cards I get, you just roll with kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I think it just depends on who we're playing with too. Like if you and I decide that the mulligan is something that we're gonna do, then we can do it as long as we're on the same page.
Exactly. In like a casual setting like this, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess then if you won last game, I'll start this next one and I'll draw seven.
Yep. We'll both draw 7.
Alrighty. And I'll draw a card to start. And my first and second action will be to play a lesson. Over to you.
Draw to start. First action and second action.
Okay, draw
Over to
a
you.
card. My first action will be to play a lesson. Second action will be to play a tawny owl and pass.
All right, draw to start. First action, I'll play a lesson. Second action, I'll play a leaping toadstools.
All right.
Leaping toadstool. It is a creature, but it's actually a healing creature. So once per game, you may let Leaping Toadstool take 1 damage that you were going to take. So instead of me taking it from my pile here, my deck, I'll have Leaping Toadstools take it.
Cool. That's awesome. I like the plants. I'm excited to see more of them.
Definitely. So Tawny Owl does 1 damage, and I'll put that 1 right there for.
Okay, cool. So I drew for turn. I think my first action will be to draw a card. And my second action will be to play a Screech Owl. When you play this card, you may put a lesson card from your discard pile into your hand. I don't have one, so over to you.
All right, I'll draw to start. First action, I'll also play a Screech Owl, and second, I'll do another one.
Okay. And I'll
Over
draw.
to you.
And
I'll
2.
take 1 and 2.
I think now is when I want to do this. I'm going to use both actions to play an adventure. We'll play Riding the Centaur, prevent all damage done to you by your opponent's creatures, and you choose 4 of your cards in play and return them to your hand, and then your reward is draw a card.
Okay, cool.
And over to you.
All right, I will draw to start. I will solve, and I'm going to take these 4, my 3 lessons, and my leaping toadstool back to my hand.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is my first action, I'll play a lesson, and my second action, I'll play a toadstool.
Got it. All right.
Over to you.
I'll draw and take 2 damage.
All right, so we'll start the toadstool over again, 1 and 2.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing the 2 damage. I forgot. It's the other way around. I just got that confused. Wait.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it's when your turn begins is when I take damage from your creatures. Got it.
Yeah, which I think you did already. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need to use my first action to draw a card. And my second action to draw a card. Okay. And over to you. And now I'll take 2.
Yep, you take 2. Let's see. I will use both actions to play Escaping the Dursleys.
Okay.
So I'll read that. The effect is your opponent can't use actions to play any cards except lesson cards.
Okay.
To solve it, your opponent discards his or her hand, and the reward is your opponent searches his or her deck for any card, puts it into his or her hand, and then shuffles.
Okay, cool. All right, I will draw and deal 2.
Yep, I'll do 1 and 2.
My first action will be to play a lesson, and then I will solve, so I'm going to just discard my hand. I'm losing some black bats, some owl posts, an owl, and I had 3 of my owl emporiums, but I'm also hesitant to play those because you have some owls yourself. So
100%.
Search to see what card we want to get. Okay, I found the card I want. I don't have to reveal that, do I?
No, it doesn't say you do, cool. So I'll get rid of this.
And then my second action is just going to be to draw, but I'm just going to shuffle real quick. Split it down the middle. And then I'll use my second action to draw. Over to you.
All right, I will draw to start.
And I take 2 from your owls. Got it.
All right. My first action, I'll play a lesson. My second action, I'll play a lesson. Okay. Over to you, and I'll take 2.
I'm going to use both actions to play Looking for Trevor. This one reads, your opponent can't use actions to play creature cards. To solve, your opponent chooses 2 of his or her lessons in play and discards them. The opponent's reward, wow, this is like a paragraph here. Your opponent may search his or her deck. He or she may take a creature card from his or her deck, show it to you. Oh, you do reveal this one. Put it in your hand, and then your opponent shuffles his or her deck. Interesting.
Okay, so I have to get rid of 2 creatures?
So you can't play creatures. You discard 2 lessons to solve, and then you're able to search out any creature, but you reveal it before shuffling. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Draw to start. You take 2.
Yep.
I'll discard 2 lessons to
Okay.
solve.
And yeah, you can search for a creature, reveal it, and then shuffle.
Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna look at my hand really quick. Okay. This is interesting. See. All right. I am going to take a Screech Owl, put it into my hand, and I'm gonna shuffle my deck.
That's one thing I will ask you. Of all the owls, what's your favorite? I'm thinking Screech Owl's my favorite.
I like Screech Owl because it lets me take a lesson.
Yes.
Like, if I had a different card in my hand that would have let me, that was like the same kind of cost and stuff, I probably wouldn't have used Screech Owl because right now, those two that I have would have really been helpful for me right now for me to like, obviously I
Recuperate.
can't play them anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, so I like Screech. Arrow's pretty cool too because like when you do need a lesson. Like Errol is nice, to be able to have the ability to like put it right into play if you do end up having it at the top of your deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Screech for sure.
Nice.
Okay, so I solved that and I
Yep.
still have my 2 actions, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so I will play 1 and 2.
Okay.
Over to you. And I'll take my 1 and 2, and then the leaping toadstool is dead now, so that goes in there.
Okay. I think for my first action, I will play another Screech Owl, and I will use the ability, when you play this card, you may put a lesson from your discard pile into your hand, so I'll take this one to hand. And then my second action, I will play another Tawny Owl as well.
Nice.
And over to you.
Draw to start.
And I take 2.
Yep.
2.
All right. I will play the Screech Owl. When you play this card, you may put a lesson from your discard into your hand, which I will take that, put it into my hand.
Yep.
And then my second action, I'll play the lesson.
All right. I will draw for turn. Deal
And I'll
4.
take 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to shift these down a little bit. I think my first action is going to be to play a lesson, and because of Hermione, I'll get 2 out. And then my second action, not sure if this is the smartest move ever, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to play Hagrid's House. So this one says, whenever a Care Magical Creatures lesson, yours or your opponent's, is discarded from play, it is put into its owner's hand.
Yep, cool.
Over to you.
All right, I will draw to start. First action, I'll play a black bat, do 2 damage.
3 from the owls and then 2 from the black bat. Got it.
Yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll get rid of 2 cards as an action and do 3 damage to you.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
And this is my ugly proxy escaping the Dursleys.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, over to you, and I'll take 4.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think this is the move. I'm going to use both actions to play into the Forbidden Forest. Whenever one of your creatures does damage to your opponent, it does 1 more damage. To solve, your opponent skips a total of 5 actions. Those actions don't need to be one right after the other. Your reward is your opponent may draw a card. So I'll keep a dice here if in the event you want to skip actions to try to solve that.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll draw to start. You
Yep.
take 5.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my
My
arrow.
first, yeah, my first action, I'll play a lesson. My second action, I'll skip. I'll put a little dice right there too.
Yep. Cool.
All right, so now it's 8.
Yeah, so each one is doing one more, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep.
Yuck.
Yeah, that I
2.
really like that. And again, if Ilops Alimporium was in play, it gets disgusting fast. But all 4 of my Ilops Alimporiums are discarded. um,
Oh yeah, it's like that's such a good adventure for sure. An overlooked adventure, I'll add.
I agree. It's literally an uncommon. I feel like for the most part, the really crazy adventures are rare typically, but this one is just really good. 5 actions is nothing to sneeze at. That's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, man, for sure.
I think for my first action, I will draw a card. And then my second action, I will play Swarm. Count the number of creatures in play. Yours and your opponent's do that much damage to your opponent. So I have 4, and I think you have 4, so that's another 8.
Yes, it is. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Nice.
And over to you.
All right, I will draw to start.
And I take 5 again.
Yeah, you take 5.
3, 4, 5.
I don't know how much faith I have in my deck, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more for me. So I'm gonna use both actions and play 2 Swarm.
Yep. Oh,
So
I think
that's
that's game right there. Let's see. Um, 8 times 2. Oh, you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, GG. Nice.
okay.
The double
Man,
swarm for
if
the
I didn't
win.
have those, it would have been you for sure. Because let's see how many I had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so you would have got me 8, and then oh no, you would have got me because
That was the exact cards you needed to handle this kind of onslaught. I was
yeah,
glad to see this
100%.
work the way I envisioned it. However, it's just like, man, when it's creatures versus creatures, it really just depends on like who's done the most amount of damage like early on and stuff. That was a really good game.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so of our I guess what we did we were saying we're gonna do best 2 out of
Yep,
3.
you
Yeah,
won that one for sure. So that was good.
I'm just getting you back for the last time you slaughtered me with
Fair.
your
I love
crazy
that.
Quidditch deck.
That's awesome.